guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have another wig from WowAfrican, and today I'm focusing on plucking. So a lot of you guys asked me to do a detailed video on how I pluck now, so I figured I would do that today. So this is what the unit looks like. It's a pretty ombre unit, but goes from black to just like a darker brown, nothing too crazy. And then this is what the hairline looks like. This is what they have as their pre-plucked, but we're going to do it a little bit more today because I don't know, I just feel like you always need to do just a little bit extra to get it to be as natural as possible. But this is what it looks like, and then this is what the inside looks like. So here is the cap construction in the inside. You guys, it's so much parting space. I think this may be either 5.5 or 6 inches of parting space, but this is what it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get this view as good as possible, or the best that I can. So let's see. Right now I'm just brushing everything out, and I like to do my plucking in 3 sections. I usually do the middle by itself and then the sides by themselves, so that's what I'm going to do today. Okay, but this is what I am starting with. Okay, so this is the middle portion that I'm going to be working with. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to part out a really thin layer in the front right here. So that's what I'm about to do right now. Just gonna go ahead, maybe it's about like a centimeter thick. Maybe a little smaller than a centimeter. Just like this. So this hair right here, we're not gonna touch yet. We're just gonna leave it alone. So I'm gonna go ahead and like pin it out of the way a little bit. So we're not touching this hair yet. And then we're going to do the same thing and make one more part about the same thickness. So let me see if I turn and you guys can see. I'm going for like right here. Okay, so then I have this hair right here. And I'm going to pull this forward. And then for the purposes of this video, so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about, I'm going to use this paper. And I think this will honestly help with beginners as well. But I'm going to place this right where this part is that I made, like right behind it. And I'm just going to clamp it in place. Okay, so I don't know how good this is about to work, y'all, but I hope you guys can understand what I'm saying and doing. Okay, so this is the section that we are going to be working with. So you want to make sure that you have it nice and combed out. And then we're going to take our tweezers. So these are my tweezers right here. I got them from Target. They're Kiss tweezers. They're really, really good, you guys. Like super sturdy. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and you're going to hold the hair up like this. And then you're going to find which spots look like they're a little bit thicker than the rest, because we don't want to get bald spots, but we want to make it really thin. So if you look against the paper, you guys can see like which areas are darker, and those are the areas that you want to pluck. So you see this section right here. See how thick that is, and it's darker than everything else, and it's about the same width that we parted out all the way across. So that means there's too much hair right here. So this part is too thick. And then if you look over here at this section that I just grabbed, look how that's too thick right there. Then if you look over here, this little section right here, that's a little bit too thick as well. You see, when you have it against the paper, you can kind of see the areas that have too much hair. And then even this little area right here. You see how thick that is compared to these other places? So those are the areas that we want to, there we go. Those are the areas that we want to thin out. But you want to hold the hair up like this. And when you pluck, you want to look at the base right here, because you want to make sure you're not giving any bald spots or anything like that. These hairs are kind of short, that's why they keep falling down. But yeah, so you want to make sure that you're not continuously plucking in the same spot over and over again. You want to make sure that you're just pulling a few hairs at a time. So first section, let me just go ahead and pull this little short stuff out of the way because it's irritating me. So you want to hold your tweezers like this, okay? From here, just down like this, not to the side like this, because you're pulling too many hairs if you go in like this. And you're pulling out too many hairs. So you want to turn it the thin way. So you want to make sure you're only pulling out a few hairs at a time. I know it's going to be tedious, but I promise you only have to do this one time and then your wig is set and you'll be good. So we're going to go into this thick section right here because you see how thick it is compared to the section next to it. We're going to thin this out. So starting at the base with the tweezers this way, just going to pluck a little bit. And you pluck a few and then you want to scrape it up. Scrape it up and get that hair out the way. Then look at it. And then pluck a few. Scrape that hair out the way. Scrape that hair out the way. And you just basically keep doing this, but you don't want to keep plucking in the same area. You see how I'm moving? And you thin it out. And you see how it's starting to like be the same thickness all the way around. So now this part, a little bit too thick. I'm going to go in there, pull a few out. And now you see how it like, the hairs fell right there, but now you can see how that thick piece is gone. So now we're gonna do the same thing to this thick section right here. You see how this is like thin, 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 and it's like, what's happening right here? Why that's so dark? So we're gonna go into that dark area, grab a few. Scrape it out. Look at it. Grab a few. Scrape it out. Look at it. And then you just basically keep doing this all the way till you get to the other side until it's like not super thick anymore in any of the places. Until you basically like you're getting a gradient effect. And when I'm doing this, I'm not necessarily getting the hairs that are closest to the part, because I feel like when you pluck by the part, the area that you sectioned out, it creates bald spots like that. So I try to make sure that I'm like going into the hair. Like I'm not plucking from the front, I'm going into the hair and pulling those out, if that makes sense. I'm gonna take the comb just so I can make sure it's all looking good. Get these little short hairs back here. And then now you see when I hold it up, it's pretty good. It's pretty good over here. This part still looks a little thick to me. And then over here. So I'm just finding the parts that have too much hair and I'm plucking those areas only. So now it looks way better. There's a few areas that are a little bit too dark, but we're not gonna really concentrate on that too much. We're gonna work our way back first, and then we'll come back and see, because we don't wanna make it too bald in the front. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out the way. And go back to my next section. Same thing, about 1 centimeter or so thick. So making sure the part is pretty even, because you don't want to be plucking because it seems like there's more hair right there, but it's really your part. So the further you move back, usually it gets a little bit thicker because they typically thin it out for you in the front. So you're going to have more hairs when you start parting back, even if you're parting out the same amount. So let me just lean this down a little bit. So you're going to do the same thing. Basically, you're going to hold the hair up. This is going to be a little bit more hair, so it's going to be a little harder to see back here. But just lean it forward a bit, like pull the hair forward a bit, and you can still see the same situations happening. Like you can see which areas are super thick and then which areas are a little bit thinned out, especially when you lean it forward. Like you see this part right here, this part, this part, this part. Like you can see which areas need to be thin. So again, you're gonna go in with your tweezers and you're going to pluck those thicker spots. So it definitely helps to split it up back here. Okay, I think that's cool for now. So I'm going to put this forward and then do one more time. So I usually do this about 3 or 4 times going back. So that was 2.
throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed on me? I thought, what age are we?
So now I'm going to go ahead and part out that little section in the front, and I'm not going to do like crazy pluck into it, just a little bit. And I'm basically doing the same thing, I'm just thinning it out. And then the hairline in the front will look something like this once you pull all the hairs back. And then we can work on the sides.
Straight on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Don't rage. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed on me? I thought, what age are we?
So now I have the whole thing plucked, and this is what it looks like. So you don't have to pluck it a lot. You just want to get rid of that like separation. You want to make it like a gradient flow, like this, because they don't do a bad job plucking. They just need to pluck back a little bit more. But this is what it looks like.
Try to right my wrong.
it's going, where this is going, like what you're doing. So let me be honest. Yeah, I want you always. Yeah, my heart's got a feeling. It's got a feeling like how it's beating. So let me be honest. Yeah, I want you always. Where it's going, where this is going, like what you're doing.